Hey, welcome back in, Occupy Democrats, and it is a fair question to ask. After all that's happened in Trump's first term and everything that's happened in the last 11 months of this term, what will be the straw that breaks the camel's back?
You have to understand that Trump doesn't care about anything but himself.
And in this breaking story, we have the answer.
The end of Trump could well happen. That's what happens in American politics.
And like you, maybe like me, if you want to see Trump out of the White House, subscribe to the channel. But in this breaking story, I'm going to show you in a few seconds, realize there are elements that aren't necessarily what we view as the thing that will break the camel's back, and yet they are.
Trump loves humiliating. I think he likes to do is get Mike Johnson and Lindsey Graham in there and just slap them around. I think he enjoys it, and maybe they enjoy it too.
Because James Carville lays this out really well right here.
James, you are predicting a whiff of the French Revolution in America. What do you mean? How bad is it?
Well, what's happened is we have cheating at just inequalities or discrepancies or whatever you want to call it. And 45% of the country can't pay any bills.
What's going on inside Trump's head after we've got the elections in Virginia, in New Jersey, and of course, Zohran Mamdani in New York City?
Young people.
And Carville continues to be correct.
See no future. They can't imagine themselves ever buying a house. They can't imagine themselves ever affording an education. Meanwhile, savers and old people have just run off with the whole stack.
And Michael Wolff knows Trump as well as anyone.
I can tell you, and I was on the phone last night with some White House people who were...
And Wolff is right, we don't know.
Not happy campers.
Because they've got to manage Trump.
It's not their personal... Our movement is being defeated.
But when Carville finishes with this, you realize where we are.
Look at what we just did. We just added another $4 trillion in debt. We just gave more tax cuts to more rich people.
And while I would not say that today spells in any way the end of Trump, I would say that the end of Trump could well happen.
And sure, Wolff is correct. Politicians all have their own end.
That's what happens in American politics.
But we don't tend, in the macro, to think about what that may be. We see Hegseth and we see the economy, we see war crimes, we see pardons a go-go. But the truth of the matter is, it's ultimately what we've all been saying for the last 10 years, which is how come the GOP, everyone else, will not stand up against this guy, because that would be the end, the same as the Republicans did with Nixon. Well, guess what? That day is coming, and it's right here in this breaking story. Check it out. Breaking news. Republican insider reveals exact moment Trump's party will abandon him.
Is this going to be another moment for the senators to stand up, finally, to the administration?
A former top Republican official has reportedly predicted the exact moment the party could abandon President Donald Trump. Politico's Politics Bureau Chief Jonathan Martin told MSNBC's Morning Joe when he expected lawmakers to break ranks with Trump. In quotes, "Quite frankly, I talked to a former GOP senator," Martin said. "They said two words to me: filing deadlines." He added, in quotes, "Why do filing deadlines matter? Because what the senator was talking about was the filing deadlines for primaries next year, which is to say, when that clears, when that passes, when these lawmakers know who is or is not running against them in primaries next year, then you'll see even more freedom, even more independence." Martin's comments came on the show amid a discussion about Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's alleged commission of war crimes and Trump's pardon of a former Honduran president convicted of narco trafficking.
I talked to a former GOP senator yesterday who said two words to me.
These represent only two installments in a firestorm of controversies that has burned almost nonstop since the MAGA leader assumed office for the second time in January. The storm has, in turn, torched Trump's approval ratings down to a miserly 38% and left an increasing number of GOP officials wondering how they went from a resounding presidential victory last year to staring down the barrel of a potential electoral bloodbath in next year's midterms. In quotes, "I think it's one more rock on the back of the members of Congress that they're carrying up the hill," Martin said of the forthcoming congressional hearings into whether Hegseth may have committed crimes against humanity under international law.
Yeah, I think it's one more rock on the back of the members of Congress that they're carrying up the hill, and the hill is Mount Trump.
Republicans, Martin believes, may therefore be more than willing to throw Trump to the wolves next year once they can rest relatively assured they're insulated from primary challenges backed by the White House. In quotes, "These guys care about their seats and about their re-election Communications, Martin said, if they see that they don't have a primary challenger by a certain date next year, 2026, they can start saying what they actually think about what right-wing pundit George Will calls the moral slum of this administration. The Daily Beast has contacted the White House for comment on this story. We haven't had to be concerned. Trump hasn't had to be concerned because his DOJ isn't going to bring any cases against him like for the emoluments clause as he gets a jet from Qatar. Or they're not going to do anything regarding the Epstein files while he's in power. And I don't mean the president, I mean power over the GOP. Trump hasn't had to worry for a second. But the more that people feel free to actually say how they feel to save their own skin in their own seat, that is when you will see Trump go down, when they are not afraid to bring impeachment proceedings and know they have the votes to get his butt out of the White House. That is what this story is about. You guys like and share the video and stay frosty.